He wants me to open the door. But we're not going outside. We are talking about the boneyard. But before we talk about the boneyard, I want to show you this. So I wanted to get a new hoodie because my old one was well loved, and I still haven't thrown it away, and I love it too much. What I really hate, though, is that I couldn't find a hoodie that didn't have a zipper. I don't like zipper hoodies. But anyway, we were not, or in lieu of just wanting to get out of the store, I wasn't really paying attention on what the clerk was doing, or what she wasn't doing. It still has the thing on it. It has dye, like yellow and red dye. And so if I try to pull it off, it would just spill ink all over the place. So I have to go back and be like, excuse me, no, I'm not stealing your hoodie. I really actually bought it. Can you take it off, please? You guys have to vouch for me. Anyway, I have to like find the receipt. My dog is so hopeful. But it's cold outside. It's snowing. Or had snowed, or whatever. So we're going to be talking about a thing called the boneyard, and I know this is not a common term, so I'll have to explain it a little bit. What is the boneyard? Well, it is my explanation, or my term, for a strange phenomenon when somebody starts a cycle, like this mental cycle, and it eventually leaves them in a place of, I don't know exactly what you call it. It's not necessarily just straight off insecurity, but it leaves them to they eventually end up going to a place where they're self-destructive and they are hurting other people because they can't quite figure out the problem that's inside of themselves. That's what I call the boneyard, and I have noticed actually several people in my life experiencing this boneyard. I'm going to try to talk outside, even though it's going to be cold. Oh, it's snowing. Look at the snow. I'm short sleeves. Like a motorcycle? Yeah, one of a kind. So, yeah, so that's what I call the boneyard. And how I find that people, or actually I was going to try to talk about how to avoid it, because it is actually quite a common thing for people to find themselves in this cycle and end up becoming self-destructive, harmful to others emotionally, and harmful to themselves, because they don't recognize that the struggle that is actually happening is within themselves, but they think that other people are the problem and the reason for the hardships going around them. And so, what are signs of the boneyard? Well, first, I see that it takes about 2 years until finally somebody comes to that depth of, I guess, the end of the spiral when they start to really make those bad, irrational decisions. But it's very, very subtle. It comes across in like complaining a little bit more than normal. Or in your speech, like just when you're talking, you paint things in a little bit more of a fearful overtone, using words that were reflecting a fearful attitude, apathy, but like to an extent of can't really get out of bed in the morning more than normal. But it comes into this cycle of just kind of getting worse and worse. Anger could be like you're just getting a little more frustrated about things, or kind of like with fear again. Oh, is he gonna kick my dog? I'm not gonna kick my dog. Kick my dog's ball, not his balls. Okay, he doesn't have any balls. That's his favorite thing. So like, yeah, with fear again. So if you start finding yourself freaking out over very small things like not having enough Fritos, and you actually have a panic because of it, and then you realize, oh, it's Fritos. Why am I freaking out about Fritos? But it's because something else in your mind is happening that you're not servicing. So you have to make sure you find what's going on that you're not being fulfilled in, and so your mind is, well, maybe not fulfilled, but maybe you're experiencing a hurt that hasn't been fully processed through yet, and you hold it in, and you end up spiraling in this spiral, and end up in that place. So, It's a little convoluted right now, but hopefully I'm going to be able to explain it better. That's kind of my explanation of what it is and how to spot it, and then hopefully how to stop it for either yourself or when you find other people just start to say, or there's something about their characters changing just ever so slightly. And I just find that a lot of people are probably kind of in this boat because we all have problems. So, hopefully, maybe a little bit later, I'll make another video just explaining it better and maybe some better ways to keep away from it. Because it's like willfully going into a cage more and more until finally you're in this darkness and you can't tell where it's coming from, and so other people, you'll start cutting people off and making decisions like that, and not finding out or not realizing that it's actually deep within yourself that has caused these issues. So I'm gonna cut it there. It's a little bit more of a serious video, but I hope that is helpful, or at least kind of sparks something, and I'll try to make more maybe in the future, even though I kept saying that. INTP cycling. We're good at it. And it's cold, so peace out!